Guys, relax.
I was scared I was going to cancel myself, huh? I'm not.
Sunday night, Winners Lounge with
the
fellas.
Let's go!
Let's go! Welcome to the Winners Lounge.
Dude, I'm hyped as hell. You can't calm me down.
We are presented by Bet365. Never ordinary. Nuggets get the win tonight. 112-103 over the Portland Trail Blazers. We're here to break it all down for you. I'm Harrison Wynn. That's Brendan Vogt.
Let's bring the dab back.
Goodness.
You didn't see that
coming. Oh, my goodness.
Come on now. Come on now.
We're excited.
Turn it up.
Was that a spur of the moment?
It was. Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Planned?
I was feeling it. I was feeling it.
I'm going to plank or something after that. Just kidding. That's D-line.
I know, dude. Should I do the Cabbage Patch? I don't even know. What else?
I don't know.
Running Man?
The Tootsie Roll. Do the Tootsie Roll.
I'll probably do the Tootsie Roll.
I want you to do the Tootsie Roll.
Maybe is the Macarena still cool? I'll do any of these things. Just give me a little time. I need to stretch.
That's Superstar Dev.
I liked when they did that, what is it, the Harlem Shake?
Yeah, the Harlem Shake, yeah.
That, I promise I want that to come back so
actually
bad.
sweet.
We should bring that back too.
They need to run it back so bad.
We could do that.
I miss it.
What was the one where you just froze?
That was it.
No, that was the freeze frame challenge or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember that. Mannequin challenge.
Man, you know what sucks? The internet.
You didn't enjoy these challenges?
I'm too old.
Okay.
Whatever.
Let's do the cancel D-line challenge.
That's the easiest challenge there is, man. Just check any of my old tweets.
Just turn on his mic when we're not live. Guys, the Nuggets win tonight, 112-103, in a game that didn't look where Denver did not look its best in the first half, but then in the second half shifted into playoff mode, and that was the headline of this show, to win by 9 points, not quite covering the spread.
They had it for a second,
but in the end it was a pretty easy fourth quarter victory. Let's break it down with a little fast breakdown here. My first note in this game: Blazers opened this one red hot. They were hitting everything in the first half and first quarter from three, and DeAndre Ayton was getting buckets too. Blazers were up 14-5 early on. Not a good stint from the starters to open this game. Not a good stint from the bench either. Denver trailed actually by 12 points, 37-25 after the first quarter. Start of the second quarter, Jamal Murray got a little hot. He had 5 straight points to open the quarter. Nuggets were able to trim the lead to 5 midway through the second, and Nikola Jokic started to cook. Denver outscored Portland 35-26 in the second quarter to trail by 3 at halftime. So Denver caught pretty much all the way up by halftime. And in the third quarter, I thought it was interesting. Mike Malone went playoff mode.
Yep.
No DeAndre Jordan in the second half. He was staggering a bunch of starters with the second unit. Limited minutes for some bench guys, but the bench, it was just an 8-man rotation, so they played a healthy amount. And the Nuggets outscored Portland 26-21 in that quarter. Nikola Jokic made a bunch of shots. Then the fourth, Denver holds Portland to 19 points. It was the classic fourth quarter lockdown defense that we've come to know from the Nuggets. And I thought Peyton Watson made a lot of great plays in that fourth quarter to help seal this one from Denver. He was great off the bench, and the Nuggets get the win. 112-103. They outscored the Blazers 26-19 in the fourth. I believe in the second half, Portland only scored 40 points. It was a great defensive second half from Denver. The Blazers scored 37 points in the first quarter. They scored 40 in the second half. That's wild. But Denver gets the win, 35-16 on the season, 21-4 at home. They sweep the mini 2-game stretch with the Blazers.
Thank God.
Seriously. Let's go to big takeaways, Dev. I'll go to you first. What do you got?
My big takeaway is that sometimes you're going to have to win ugly. And this was an ugly win. It was an entertaining win, but that's not a game that Denver will be excited about. But they got to see their bench unit put it together. P. Watt was incredible in this one. I feel like he truly did win the game. He made so many impactful plays, and he just continues to be the guy right now. So another monster game from him where he changed the outcome of the game.
I agree. It was another big night from P. Watt.
Yeah, it was a game that it required grit and substance and digging deep to win, which was ridiculous. There was no reason it should have been as close as it was. Nuggets came out
It was
sleepwalking.
always going to be, though, Eric.
It was always going to be this way. You just want the Denver Nuggets to just come out and pound teams. It's just not part of their DNA. They are perennial procrastinators. They show up when they need to show up, but they get an A every time. It's so frustrating to, the rest of the students that work the whole time. A team like the Blazers that I'm sure felt some level of confidence. They were like, wow, we're really going toe-to-toe. DeAndre Ayton has been schemed back into the offense. He's hitting everything. This is really incredible.
They're
Look
like,
what we
this
can.
is why we have DeAndre.
Yeah, they're like, wow, look what we can do. And then the Nuggets are like, all right, fine, whatever. And then they just crush them.
Yeah.
It's, it just, this is one of these games. You're like, okay, cool, next game, next. There's like no real takeaways other than I think what Dev said is the one real takeaway is that players that you don't count on all the time stepped up. Christian Braun looked good tonight. He was making impactful plays. He was getting steals. He was doing the gates of Browntown are slowly opening back up.
We've taken the lock off the gates.
The lock from Browntown has been removed. The quarantine signs have been taken down. Like it's
thank God.
People are starting to slowly make their way back. Nobody's settled in yet, but
Browntown's recovered from COVID.
dude, Browntown has made a miraculous. It's at least on the road to recovery, which we love to see.
All right, maybe get a stimulus plan going in Browntown. Vote, big takeaway.
This game wasn't expected to be, but was another reminder ultimately that Denver's 8-man rotation is good to go, in my opinion. Is it as good as last year's? Up for debate. Is it comparable? In my opinion, yes. It's been something we've talked about on this show and in roundtables recently. How much do you trust a shortened rotation at this point? And really, you're talking about 7.5 guys. And, Watson at this point is on a 30-game streak of doing something good. Christian got the short hook last game, but I actually think in 3 of his last 4 games, tonight included, he's done Christian Braun things again. I think tonight he led the team in plus minus, and I didn't think that was a coincidence, despite a modest box score. So if you look at the plus minuses tonight, not a great night for the starters, but Peyton, CB were good, and Jamal was good enough with the bench. And I just think in the 5 to 6 times we've seen it this year, when Malone's turned to Aaron Gordon as the backup center,
to
an 8-man rotation, they've gotten a win whenever they've needed one that way.
It's delivered every time.
And so maybe with the exception of the Philly game, I don't remember now if they shortened it, but
probably.
So I have a ton of confidence right now in those 8 guys. And tonight it was really cool to see, the starters they sleptwalk through some of that, and the bench had their back.
Much of it.
The bench had their back. So I feel just as bad about the 10-man rotation as I did last year, but I think I feel about as comfortable with the 8-man as I did last year.
Dude, let's go, man.
Right?
We're at the point of the season where everything feels bad, just because we are in the dog days. We are in the dog days. The first dog days. There are multiple dog days.
So many
We're
dog
in the
days.
number one set of dog days, and it all feels bad. You know what that means? Championship time, baby.
The regular season's feeling very similar to last year's, absolutely. My big takeaway has to do with Peyton Watson, who we've touched on a little bit already, but as of right now, February 4th, Peyton Watson is indispensable to the Nuggets.
Top 6, top 5?
He is so good, man, and he's getting so much better every single game, it feels like. The offense now has been the biggest thing over the last several weeks. The mid-range jumper's cooking. His 3-ball looks great. He's shooting it with confidence. The rebounding was there tonight. 2 steals, 1 block as well. We're at a point now where the Nuggets need Peyton Watson. This version of the Nuggets needs Peyton Watson to win a championship, and he's absolutely delivering every single time. He played 30 minutes tonight. We mentioned the Nuggets go in playoff mode. Played 30 minutes. And so the way I just look at this team, he brings an element that this team is lacking in terms of his length, his versatility on defense, his shot blocking ability. He's got all of those components to his game. And he's so indispensable, it feels like, for Denver right now. They absolutely need him every night.
On a night when we're rightfully highlighting his offense, he also what did he finish with? 2 steals and a block as well, right? Just because he showed up, because that's who he is defensively.
Stock's literally rising.
Yeah.
He's such a great... So you have Aaron Gordon who can guard your 2-3-4s in the playoffs, but also kind of has more offensive responsibility. And to be able to back that up with another guy with similar versatility that can come in off the bench and just be a madman that way defensively, but also right now, he's good for 10 points, fellas. I mean,
That's the thing, man.
Is he a sharpshooter? I don't know, TBD. Do you leave him open? I think the shot's going in if you do, or at least enough of them. And he's confident in it. He loves that short mid-ranger right now, and I feel good about it every time he takes it. So, I mean, he's the key. If, a title's one thing, but if they're going to look as good as they did in the playoffs again, he's the key to it all. And right now, I think you got to feel good about it.
It's been a very long time since the Nuggets bench won them the game. And this was a game that they wanted. And this is the first time, I feel like, all season long that we got to see a P-Watt game alongside Christian Braun.
I know.
Like, seeing them both just wreak havoc the entire time. Like, they were a force on that defensive end, and they just were so disruptive. And just seeing them both, like, in that type of atmosphere in that game, that is fun to watch.
Yep.
Christian Braun is getting deflections. He's, like, stopping his guy. He's trying to make plays happen. And it doesn't have to happen offensively. This was, like, not a great offensive game from him, but you don't need that. You need him to come in and impact the game, and he did that. And then Peyton Watson got it going on both ends. He's becoming the two-way option, and we talk about the consecutive, like, games in a row and just being consistent. He's consistent on both ends of the floor, scoring the ball, knocking down the shot, putting the ball on the floor, getting to the rim, locking down guys. Like, we're seeing them both go together. And it was just great to see the bench come together.
Yeah, and it's a night like tonight is a game that just purely requires effort. Like, if you come out with effort, you are by far the superior team. You can come out and just crush an opponent like the Portland Trailblazers, who are reeling, who don't have an identity, are trying to find themselves, are squarely at not even the middle, are at the beginning of a rebuild. And it's no surprise that those two guys really shined, because those are two high-effort, high-motor guys. P-Watt he was really making a point of it. He really was diving for balls. He was going for steals, and not just being reckless with his energy. I mean, he was also smart with it, which is what separates your just average try-hard from an elite-level defender in the NBA, where he's definitely headed. And I will tell you, if you consider yourself a P-Watt fan, pay attention this week. Pay attention this week. There might be some things that you, a P-Watt fan, will find interesting.
Ooh. Keep my eye out for that.
Okay. Going eyeballs.
Yeah. Huge night for the bench. You brought up Christian Braun. Something I do want to talk about is Christian Braun subbed in for Michael Porter late in the third. We didn't see Michael Porter again after that. I do want to hit on that in a second, but to stick on P-Watt real quick, his trajectory this season has been so linear. It's so much different, I feel like, than Christian Braun's last year.
Yeah.
Because Christian Braun came on the scene last year. He was immediately good. And yes, I think got a little better, but stayed at a relatively similar level all season.
Right.
Peyton Watson entered the rotation to open the year, flashed, had some ups and downs, but it felt like after the first couple of weeks, he's been on this solid trajectory up and keeps improving and keeps getting better. Part of it is a little surprising because it's just tough historically. You look back over NBA champions and great teams in the past, it's tough for young guys as inexperienced as him to come in and really just establish themselves on veteran teams. That part of it's surprising. What's not surprising is that, like, every time I talk to Peyton Watson, I come away impressed. He just has a phenomenal understanding of the league, how it works, what he has to do to earn minutes and earn a role on this team, and what his role needs to be for this team to have success. So that part of it is not surprising because he's 21 years old, but he really has this solid foundation and understanding of how everything works and who he needs to be as a player for Denver to have success. So he's just established in a great place and heading in a great direction too.
He's a young professional.
Yeah.
He's
so mature, man.
He got connected with guys early on, but I think rather than that inflating the celebrity kind of thing, he made it about basketball. It seems to me like the guys he has in his ear and in his corner, his family, his team, are professionals who are
He
about
does
basketball.
have a really solid just foundation and circle around him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is. Young professional. Like you'd expect to see him hang out at Avanti, you know?
Sure. He's got he feels like he was media trained before he was good, you know?
Totally.
Well, he's also kind of been in the spotlight for a while.
That's part of it.
#1 player in California. Went away from the spotlight a little bit when he didn't play at UCLA. But, I mean, he was a couple years ago like a star type of guy.
Right.
Yeah. But, yeah, great night for him. Great night for the second unit. P-Watt tonight was a plus 14 in 30 minutes. Christian Braun was a plus 18 in 28 minutes tonight. Let's talk about that, though. So, Christian Braun, we heard pregame from Michael Malone that, he had a chat with Christian Braun, the classic Malone heart-to-heart with a struggling player.
Did he hug him? Did he grab him and hug him?
He grabbed him. Yeah, grabbed him for a second. And, Malone reminded him that he's not looking at his stats. He's just looking at his effort. And what happens next is Christian Braun plays 28 minutes, starter-level minutes, and he checks in for Michael Porter at the 4:17 mark of the third. At that time, the Nuggets are down 9 points. And, of course, we know what happens next. The Nuggets end up winning by 9 points. Any significance of that, Dev? What do you think of that move and how it kind of played out for Denver?
I mean, the big thing that I heard, which I feel like a lot of people should calm down, relax, is this was not like an indication of just straight Michael Porter Jr. Like, this is not to say he played bad or to knock him or take him out of his starting lineup. This was to reward a player that was playing extremely hard.
Good take.
I mean, he played well. How do you not keep him out there? Especially a guy that has been struggling, and then he's having a good game. He's giving good minutes. He's doing things that are winning plays on the court. I mean, it just so happens that Michael Porter Jr. is in a slump. He's not knocking down his shot in the same way. But this is more about Christian Braun than it is about Michael Porter Jr.
It's a good take,
So I just feel like Christian Braun was rewarded for his hard play, and his hard play is a big reason that the Nuggets won this game.
Yeah, this is like a time, like the only way really to get a player playing well again is to get confidence. And you can, even, I'm sure it's, I mean, I wouldn't know. I'd love to find out, like, how much confidence a Michael Malone hug can put into you. We'll find, I mean, maybe,
lot, I think.
I don't feel that confident. I'd love to see if I can feel a little more confident with
What about a grab?
Yeah, dude. Like if I was just casually walking from Club Lexus and Michael Malone just grabbed me and hugged me, I would come back with confidence unseen before on this podcast. I would kick Adam out of the seat. I would host the goddamn thing. But you got to give somebody playing time. They need playing time. They need to find the confidence themselves. They need to be given the opportunity. They need to know, obviously, that their team is in their corner and they can make mistakes and will be given the leeway and the leash to be able to progress from them. Christian Braun has had a rough go the last couple months. He's had even his most ardent supporters, one Harrison Wind.
I've called him out, man. I've been afraid to call him out. He's needed to play better.
Even Harrison Wind has found himself questioning whether or not Christian Braun had what it took, and it's great to see the kid getting an opportunity and him finding his way again and playing with the hustle and doing the things that we know and we fell in love with last year. So it's just, it's good. Yeah, I agree. It's like not taking MPJ out, it's like, all right, let's get this. Let's go. We know we have an MPJ. We don't know what we have in Christian Braun this year, so give him some time.
Yeah. I agree. I think it has more to do with Christian Braun than MPJ. But I will say this, Vogt. I mean, MPJ's been in a shooting slump. This stretch of games, I feel like he's playing okay. It's not like he's playing great on both ends of the floor. So I feel like, Porter just is kind of in one of the valleys of his season. What do you think?
I agree. I think Porter needs a couple games off. I'm looking forward to the All-Star break for Porter. He's made a point to play in every game this season. He's the only Nuggets player that started in every game this season. And that is an admirable goal, but I also think it is it the wisest choice? Like, there's a limit on how much Porter can play probably and how much he can play at his highest highest degree and highest capability. So to me, he just seems like a fellow that needs some games off. He's missed some wide open shots lately that we expect him to hit, and he hasn't had a ton of energy outside of that. To me, he looks like he needs a break. As for Christian had a really short hook in the last game.
Yeah.
2 games prior, he had 2, in my opinion, very good Christian Braun games with the rebounding and the energy. And then in that last game, after about 7 minutes, Malone just went away from him. And I actually didn't love that because I thought he had been trending up. So it was good for him to go to him tonight. Christian delivers, and then Malone responds again with more playing time. I thought it was the right call tonight. And I think Christian actually in the last 3 to 4 games is trending in the right direction. I feel good about it.
Yeah, maybe he needs to grab Michael Porter this time.
Oh, man.
Have you
Or
noticed,
hug.
Adam never grabs us. Have you noticed that?
He does me.
Does he grab
But
you?
like by the neck.
Oh,
and
by
stuff.
the neck. Yeah, strangling you doesn't count. No, I meant grab a guy and let him know you believe. Yeah.
Let's hit a break. Lots more to get to on the other side. We should probably talk about Nikola Jokic, who played pretty decent tonight. Adam Mars is at the arena. He'll be giving us an update on what Michael Malone had to say. I'm sure what Nikola Jokic had to say as well.
What if he's not? Is there a chance that Adam just took the night off?
That's going to be an awkward third segment then.
Is there a chance that Adam will call in from some other location and have a photo in back that looks like Ball Arena? We're going to look into this.
The thing is, I feel like I could or he could do that
He
and
totally
just
could.
give generic quotes, and you guys
You could
would
just
never
watch
know.
the press conference with Michael Malone from the television and then be like, oh, yeah, Mike said he was really proud of the defensive effort tonight.
Didn't they do that in the NFL this year?
Yes.
See, but then D-line, you don't get the reports that I deliver straight from the locker room.
Yes.
Like Reggie Jackson just completely blacks out when he does that skip to my Lou routine. You won't
true.
get that kind of access.
It's true. It's true. You make a great point. We'll see if Adam has the same journalistic integrity and reports on something as important.
Bet365 is where you can bet and where it's never, ever ordinary. And, we all wait for the big games, the big plays, the ones that move us the most. You can make them all the big moments. They don't have to be ordinary moments. They can be winning moments with Bet365. Right now, you can download download the Bet365 app and use code DNVR365 when you sign up. You can deposit $10 and choose between either a bet and get offer and place a bet of $5 or more and get $150 in bonus bets. Or if you're a high roller, a first bet safety net offer by placing a bet up to $2,000. And if your qualifying bet loses, you receive a match bet or a match refund in bonus bets. A lot of ways to play, a lot of ways to win. You can watch the pregame show. You can bet with us. You can watch our watch-alongs. You can play along with us. You can do it all at Bet365. You have to be 21 plus and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-GAMBLER.
How did we do on our bets
I
tonight?
was going to say, you know which moment was not ordinary? When Jamal Murray hit his third three.
And then he hit his fourth, too.
It was meh.
No, it was not ordinary.
That was not ordinary.
We've got you covered with our ad breaks
Yeah,
with our partners from head to toe, from roof to floor. We're talking flooring with the best in the flooring business. It's Empire Today. You probably know them from their world-famous commercials and jingles and just their general standard. They
gonna
are
sing
the
it?
standard for flooring.
800-533-2600.
Empire. They're the best place to get new flooring. Everyone knows this. And if we don't want you to just go to the best, We want you to get the best prices at the best. That's why we're giving you this sweet deal. Go to empiretoday.com/DNVR. Get $350 off new floors. That's a pretty sweet deal. $350 off. That's a lot. That's a lot. Go to empiretoday.com or go to empiretoday.com/DNVR if you're looking to save on new flooring and get the best new flooring from the best in the business. Fellas, a couple of shout outs tonight.
What?
Yvonne, I may have messed your name up.
Yeah.
We've been DMing. Let me know if I butchered that.
Yvonne, it has to be
Yvonne.
It has to be.
DMing.
Yvonne and Andrew
Down in the DMs, huh?
from down under.
Oh!
They're from Australia and they're now DNVR diehards. They
Wow.
recently signed up. So we want to shout them out. They're also coming to the States for a Denver Nuggets road trip. They're going to follow the team around some
What?
sweet locations like San Francisco, LA, and Denver.
Bro.
So we can't wait to host them, take some pics with them. We'll put out a little tweet. Maybe you can help them find some recommendations of what to do when they're in Denver. And how about tonight, Davis from DC, who could not have been more than, 11, 12 years old?
Yeah.
Dude, that kid's gonna take my job one day.
Oh, he's a gamer. He's big time.
He knows ball.
He's a diehard, man. He was the loudest fan in the bar tonight. He was excited to meet us. He was excited to watch the Nuggets. He was excited to watch them win. And we're always excited to see our diehards and our fans from all around the country, all around the world. So shout out Yvonne, sorry. Davis from DC. You guys are the best. We appreciate all the diehards, all the fans.
Yeah.
There's nothing. The only thing I don't appreciate is when somebody like Yvonne lives such a her life is so much better than mine to a degree that makes me so frustrated. Taking a Nuggets road trip, that's something I could never make happen for myself. Thank you. Stop rubbing it in.
But we'll see you when you come to
Can't
the
wait
bar.
to see you though.
And
Buy
you'll
a
get a
beer.
discount because you're a diehard.
Buy a beer.
Yeah.
Buy a beer, and then we'll talk about. We'll hash out our differences then.
All right, back here in the Winners Lounge, presented by Bet365. Never ordinary. Nuggets get the win, 112-103 over the Portland Trailblazers. Top two scorers tonight for Denver. Nikola Jokic, 29 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 12 of 20 from the floor. And Jamal Murray, who I think low-key had a really good game.
Yeah.
21 points, 8 of 16 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3, 10 assists, just 1 turnover. The 1 turnover was one of the worst
Silly.
passes I've ever seen.
Very
What
silly.
was that?
Didn't need to throw that. But other than that, he was a plus 16, the only starter in a positive plus-minus because, of course, he's playing with that second unit. Dev, what do you think about Joker and Jamal tonight?
I mean, just to start on Jamal, I think this was an incredible game from him, really. And it's more so he did a little bit of everything. Last game, he was not efficient. He was not knocking down shots, and he continued shooting. This game, he stopped making shots, and he was like, you know what? Let me go give it to number 15. Let me get everyone else involved while also being aggressive where they have to defend me. And I think that's big. He also was locked in on the defensive end. So, I feel like we got to see Jamal just give a bit more effort to make sure that everyone was happy and also he was in the game. So, that's big for me in this game, and I think he played well.
Yeah, big bounce back game from him. Looked competent, didn't look too tired. The big markers for Jamal.
Not a lot of hands on knees.
Not a lot of hands on knees. There were some hands on knees moments, but it wasn't.
Could have been worse.
Could have been a lot worse. Shooting the ball with confidence, driving with confidence, dishing with confidence, right? And just not looking gassed. That's just all you.
Yeah,
that really it all just comes down to that with him. It's silly, and I can't believe it's a conversation that we have ad nauseum. But I mean, he's just so talented. You know, you just want this guy to maximize his talent all the time because it's just he has something that people wish that they had. And obviously, when paired with Nikola Jokic, I mean it's a world championship right there. Those two. So it's great to see. Great to see him have that bounce back. But it makes you want to just see it more often. You know.
Yeah, Vogt.
Sorry, we're talking about Jamal. I just lost my train of thought for a second.
Joker and Jamal.
Yeah, Jamal, I thought it was a good bounce back game from Jamal. And one of my favorite plays maybe, was it Simons that he blocked at the rim in the second half?
It was not quite at the
think
rim,
so.
but yeah.
He was kind of fading away.
2 blocks for Jamal,
and
2,
he just
1
got
steal.
it with his fingers, much like the last Portland game. 4 quarters, mixed bag defensively, but he had a couple of clutch plays defensively.
When Jamal is locked in, he's a good defender. He really is. He's stronger than you think. He's got a really strong base. He's very good defending in the post. And like when he's focused, he's good at tracking guys and staying on guys as well. And like we were talking about earlier, playoff mode tonight, the short rotation seemed to bring out more energy on that end from him.
And I mean, he was part of that bench unit that came in and turned things around. I mean, maybe the biggest turning point in this game was that pull-up three Jamal hit out of nowhere when the Nuggets had very little going to that point.
Yeah,
and
that was one of the fast breaks where I was okay with the pull-up three.
Right, and he just said, F it, I'm doing it.
That was also one where nobody was running to the rim. It was a classic NBA fast break where everybody just stops at the three-point line. So I was cool.
Also, when it goes in, it feels better.
And 10 assists to 1 turnover. I just think there's a lot Christian and Peyton can do and did do tonight, but arguably the key to those non-Jokic minutes going better is Jamal just owning, right? Jamal just leading that group.
Yeah.
And I thought tonight this was a leading game from Jamal, right? Where
certainly, yeah.
Not just waiting for a moment to make an impact, but leading by example. And so yeah, I thought he played really well tonight. It was good to see. It was that last game. His effort was okay, but he just shot so poorly. I kind of felt good about tonight. I thought he was going to turn it around.
Yeah, we famously said he was going to eat.
You did?
Yeah, dude. I always know. I can sense hunger. You know what I mean? Like
you can, man.
The time before I said Jokic. I mean, nobody knows ball like me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to bring up 2 plays here that Kale's going to bring up on the screen that I think you guys are going to like. They both have to do with Nikola Jokic.
Okay, I already like it.
I like this.
The first one, it happened at the end of the game, and Denver was up 105-93 with 5 minutes left after a Portland basket. I want you guys to watch Nikola Jokic waste about 10 seconds on the clock right here. Kale, play this clip. Watch him stare down the ref and watch her count to 4. 1, 2,
he's looking right
3, 4. And then he inbounds the ball. He wasted about 10 seconds on this play.
Dude. Who wastes time better? Me or Nikola Jokic?
It might be Jokic, bro.
No, it's you.
Okay, it's me.
Sorry,
But this is like beyond.
Is that not unbelievable?
This is beyond high IQ. Like I still play video games, but like there's like those people that just find ways to get out of the map on like shooting games. He's like one of those type of people. Like he's just finding different ways to like show you that he's smarter than you.
Bit of a camper.
Yeah. Because like I mean, he threw the ball to the ref to waste a couple of seconds, act like he couldn't get there. Then he waited to see if she was going to start counting, like held her responsible just to get all of that out. And he does it in different ways. Like it's like he's taking time to see, how can I manipulate this situation? How can I get the best out of this situation? True. I love it.
He does it all the time too. And sometimes he like fumbles the ball getting out of it went into the stands somehow. I don't know how. I have terrible hands all of a sudden. But that one, I've never seen him stare down the ref.
He's like,
they're
did you start
counting
to
yet? 4. And also, her 4 count took like 7 seconds.
I noticed that compared to the 5-second violation the other night.
Yeah, it probably threw her off though. Like,
she's like, wait, am I doing something
looking
wrong?
me in the eyes?
He's probably about to start having conversation. Hey,
some guys explore their game in the regular season, and Jokic explores ways to fuck about.
Yeah, he just
fuck around on the court.
He explores the boundaries of what's acceptable.
Yeah. Also, this should, for once and for all, shed all stat padding labels.
Yeah, he wanted to. The only stat he was looking to get rid of was time. He wanted the game to be over. Yeah. Again, it's been said, like, Nikola Jokic is an employee of the NBA.
Well, the Nuggets haven't played any overtime games yet, and I hypothesized earlier that he just doesn't want to work extra hours.
They really haven't, huh?
This reminds me of when I worked at a grocery store and they would send me out on a cart run to go get the cart.
Oh, the cart run. I've heard about this.
Which, by the way, I'll tell you, people get on their moral high ground and they point to those who don't put carts away as an indication of the decay of our society.
Someone does it.
But when you're me and you're doing the Jokic thing, you're like, how can I make this How can I get out of here? Make every second count as 2 seconds, 5 seconds. Going around and wrangling carts in the parking lot is a godsend.
Don't clean up your carts.
Yeah, dude, no, don't. In fact, shove them into the street.
Take that, Andrew Mason.
Park them as far away from the little cart corral as possible.
Yeah, dude,
Turn them upside down.
Making it like when I go out, I'm like, how did you get it on the roof? I'm like,
You go out there, you're like, that's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, dude, congrats.
I'm on the clock either way, baby.
How am I gonna get this? And I have to figure it out. Get a piece of paper. Thank you to you.
Get a piece of paper.
Yeah, I got to figure it out. How do I triangulate the location of this
next
cart?
level. Yeah. All right, the other clip I want to show is also of Nikola Jokic.
Really?
This might be the best shot fake I've seen in NBA history. Have you ever seen a defender turn and look towards the rim for the ensuing rebound after a pump fake? Because I never have.
This is a good combination between Yoke's unparalleled canny and DeAndre Ayton's unparalleled levels of don't give a shit. Look at that. Look at that defense.
I've never seen that before, man.
Dude, this is like when you do a magic trick for like a pet.
or like a small child.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I got your nose. You're like, my nose. You just drive by.
No lie, this was they're doing this on playgrounds everywhere.
Yes.
That's what this is a older person doing this to a child.
Yes.
You do this to, you throw the ball behind their back and they like don't know where the ball went.
It's like
Crossing up a baby.
when you're playing hide and seek with your dog and you hold up like the blanket and they think you're gone.
Or you like, oh, throw the ball and you still have the ball and they run.
I feel like you could do all of these with DeAndre Ayton.
Do you think you could get Ayton on the blanket
Yeah, I
trick?
really do.
Oh, absolutely.
Ayton would be like, what
He'd
the?
be like, whoa. You were just here. Also, it's icy outside. I don't know.
Oh my God.
All right, well, those are two good Jokic plays from tonight.
And they were both like just fuck around plays.
Yeah. Let's hit another break. I believe we'll get to Adam Mars on the other side.
Should we talk about Jokic? I mean, we didn't even bring him up. We just talked about his fuck around.
I tried to talk about that last segment.
Honestly, for Yoke, he was good.
Yeah, he was good.
Maybe more thoughts on Nikola Jokic on the other side, too.
I've got thoughts on American Raptors at Infinity Park. The Colorado rugby squad, Colorado's only professional rugby squad, are set to return to action on February 16th. They'll kick off their 2024 Super Rugby Americas campaign in Argentina, and you can catch their games on ESPN+. If you're big into rugby, you should know Glendale, Colorado is Rugbyville, USA. It's a great rugby culture there, some great athletes there, and you can learn more about the sport, the Raptors, all that good stuff with the weekly DNVR Rugby podcast hosted by our guy Colton Strickler. Hit the subscribe button where you usually subscribe to your DNVR podcast. Additionally, I doubt it, but I'm not going to rule it out. You might be listening to this podcast and thinking to yourself, I'm an elite athlete.
Sure.
I never got the break I deserved. I never found the sport that's right for me. There's a chance it's because you never tried rugby. Again, probably not if you're listening to the show, but in general, maybe. Check out the opportunities at Infinity Park. Rugby just might be your next ride. Witness all the fast-paced, hard-hitting rugby action live at Infinity Park in Glendale when the Raptors embark on a 6-game homestand starting Sunday, March 17th. Tickets are $10. Bring your friends and family to Infinity Park and spend your Sundays at Rugby Town, USA. Visit AmericanRaptors.com for more information on the team and how to purchase your tickets right now. And man,
Infinity Park, right next to one of my favorite restaurants in Colorado.
which one is it?
No.
Shotgun Willie's.
No, although they are in the same shopping center.
That's what I would. Oh,
Bull and Bush.
Chick-fil-A. Oh, sorry.
Bull and Bush. You ever been there?
No.
Dude, it's like this English style
Really?
restaurant. Incredible brunch.
Whether you're new to Colorado or you've been here your whole life, you might find yourself in a similar conundrum. You might be trying to figure out, how the heck do I watch the most Colorado sports and do it for the lowest price? That's where Fubo TV comes in. Check out the QR code there on the screen. You could scan that or head to FuboTV.com/DNVR where you can sign up for 140 plus live channels of sports, shows, movies, and news. Stream your live TV from any device. And yeah, like I said, the Colorado sports you want to watch, you can watch them with Fubo. I don't have Fubo yet. I just go to Harrison's house and I watch through
I
the
actually
windows.
lost my Fubo subscription.
I noticed
I need
that,
to.
actually.
I fucks with Fubo heavy.
I need to get with
You guys-
the Fubo guys and get my
There's
subscription.
no
re-upped.
excuse
I
to
know.
not watch the Denver Nuggets if you consider yourself a big fan.
I went to Wynn's-
Get Fubo.
I went to Wynn's Bushes to watch the Av game
But
recently.
if you have Comcast and
more
you
you
are
say
like,
this, the more I'm
there's no
actually
way to
starting to
watch
believe you.
the
You should check.
Nuggets, get rid of Comcast. They don't care about you. They are an evil monopoly. They are doing this all over the country. It is not a uniquely Colorado thing. Get Fubo, man. Be on the right side of history.
How do you do it? You go to www.fubotv.com/DNVR. That's us. Sign up. Get 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro.
All right, we're back here. DNVR Nuggets Podcast, the Winners Lounge, presented by Bet365. Never ordinary. Nuggets get the win. 112-103 over the Portland Trailblazers. We were joking that Adam might not be at the arena tonight. Haven't heard from him.
Yeah, dude.
So, I don't know.
He's doing all NBA with Legler or something.
He's just gonna wake up like, oh wait, what?
That was last night.
Yeah. Did you have any more thoughts on Nikola Jokic, though, that you want to get off your chest?
Just just that he's amazing. Just that I have as little doubt as I've ever had that whenever the Nuggets need a game, he's going to deliver. And I think part of it, some of this is last game too. I don't know if tonight's the best example. I would need to rewatch. We might be underrating Jokic's defense this year in the big wins and the big games.
Probably.
We haven't really talked about it a lot, but their defense is best when he's out there right now. When he plays up in the pick and roll, he's so disruptive. When he decides it's the 5 minutes of a big game that he wants to win, defensively, he's a menace. So I would say for me, it's that part of it that, I expect him to be the best player in the world offensively. But in the big games this year and in the clutch this year, he's been a stud on defense.
The defense is a good point because my theory on Yoke's mentality on defense is that I think he's just trying to get to the fourth quarter. If it's a good game, if it's a close game, I think he's trying to get to the fourth quarter not in foul trouble.
Yeah.
And then just turn it on defensively at that point. He's one of the best at staying out of foul trouble. Like, we never talk about it. He's never in foul trouble, really. But when he can get to a second half not being in foul trouble, I think that's a big goal of his. But defensively, I agree. I think he's been very good this season. Underrated, of course. I think when Nikola Jokic really turns it on, he's actually an elite defender. I actually believe
In certain
that.
spots, he definitely is.
I think he's generally an elite defender.
I agree.
When he's trying as hard as he can. And you see that in the clutch.
Yeah, his defense is confusing for people. We've said this before, but it's confusing for people because he is a below the rim defender as a center. His defense comes from his arms getting in passing lanes, from him becoming wide so you can't drive around him. You expect your center to be contesting at the rim all the time, which is just not, it's just simply not his game. His game is to keep you from getting in there. And then when you do, he just makes himself big, raises his arms. And more often, so many people miss close shots when going to try to test Jokic in that way than you would ever expect. But it's,
And he also gets a lot of blocks, except they count him as steals.
yes.
Yeah.
From just stripping guys when they're on their way up.
Yeah,
the
he's
side.
he's just a bit below the. It's just a not what you expect from your center, but it is, and has proven to be very effective. I mean, I don't have a ton of thoughts about Jokic either. I just feel like he deserves our. I'd say he's Jokic. He's the best.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Dev? Do you like Jokic or no? Dev doesn't like Jokic.
Well, I hate that you're setting me up like this because I'm glad I went last. Y'all watched that game and thought Jokic played good defense?
To be honest,
No,
to
when
be
it
honest,
matters,
I'm
when it matters.
mostly talking about last game. as
I'm
well.
like, he was horrible
I'm
defensively in
kind of
this
cheating.
game. Like,
I'm kind of
When
cheating.
it mattered.
Aiden went insane. Like, he had
Ayton
like the
did go
best
insane.
game of his. I'm like, what?
But I will say this. Is Ayton going insane actually bad for Portland?
I think that So really, I do think
And
that
is Jokic in on that joke?
I think Jokic is really great when he's locked in and he wants to
That's the
make
point.
those stops. Like,
Yeah.
so
That's the
clutch
point.
defense
That's it. Yeah,
is
that's
where I
it.
would
That's
say
it.
it.
That's
But there's
the
no
point.
way I watched this game and think that
Well,
he
no.
was great defensively. That's where I was like,
Can you
okay,
believe
I'm a
how
little
much
bit
Dev
confused.
hates Jokic?
No,
It's
no,
gross,
no.
man.
He was
Man, I
incredible.
can't believe
this?
we got a Jokic hater on the pod.
Dev
He's
likes.
right to push back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's-
this is from 2 days ago.
Dev likes what? He doesn't like drinkable yogurt. He likes Starbucks. Hates Jokic.
Well, I like Starbucks.
Serbia.
What is happening? Y'all, this is a setup. I didn't say any of those things. Like, I just don't think he's an elite defender. I don't think he showed elite defense. I do think that he took over in this game when they needed him to take over. Like, offensively, he was incredible. And he was very, very aggressive because there was not much scoring. Denver went down big, and they needed some type of scoring. They needed someone to go to. And all you got to do is give the ball to 15, and everyone else seemed to do the exact same thing. So I love Jokic. He is my savior.
now.
But I'm not going to fake like he played great defense.
No, but he does when it matters. That's the point.
That's it. When it matters.
Everything. That's the thing.
And
It's-
the Nuggets held the Blazers to 40 points in the second half.
Which is what I was getting at. Now, by the way, Dev, in space and at the rim, no, he's not an elite defender. Playing up in the pick and roll, though, and disruptive in pass lanes, like, he has skill sets that we just don't associate with centers, so we don't always credit it. You are probably right for the pushback, though, especially tonight. Especially tonight.
Let's go to Adam Mares live from
somewhere.
Ball Arena. Nuggets 112-103 when I believe Michael Malone and Jamal Murray just spoke to the media. Adam, what's up, man?
Fellas, what's going on? Fun second half there. Were you
Fun second
entertained?
half, good win. Were we entertained?
We enjoyed ourselves.
I hate it. I hate the Nuggets.
D-line.
It was good. I loved the game. I thought it was great. Second half was fun. Young guys really came through. Playoff rotation, all that stuff. That's my big takeaway is the Nuggets playoff rotation is really good. When they go to it, they look like defending champs. So that's encouraging. Quick housekeeping. KCP, after the game, said more of a cramp than it was a injury. So
Thank God.
whatever fear there was about his hamstring, I think is should be quelled.
That's good.
You guys want to get into the notes?
Yeah, what did Michael Malone have to say?
So real quickly, he was very high. He came out firing right away
Whoa.
on Christian
I can
Braun and
relate.
Peyton Watson. Not high. He wasn't high. He was really high on the rookies.
Is that why it takes him a while to get out to the podium after some of these losses, man?
Yeah,
Just lighting one up in the coach's lounge?
Did you come out of a van with no windows?
He was so chill tonight, you guys. It was unbelievable. No, he was. He just came out firing for Peyton Watson and Christian Braun. You could tell he was really hyped about those two. And with Christian, before the game, it's been on his mind, just saying, "Hey, we want to get him back. It's my job as the coach to kind of give him confidence and to help him out in that regard." And I honestly think that it has been on both of their minds lately of, "Hey, let's get you back to the guy we know you can be." And tonight, I felt like it was that. He said something about Christian. I don't even know what the line was. He was 1 of 4 tonight. Who cares? The defense he played tonight was incredible. He was defensive player of the game. And then I love this line of Peyton. He was talking about the pull-up three, and he said the kid has balls. He put pull-up. He said it was one of those plays where he's sitting there going, no, 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 no. And then, of course, he drains it. So
That's something
was
I
just
would
really
say
high
if
on
I
those
was
guys.
high as well.
Yeah. I'm always saying that when I'm stoned.
I'm a little. I'm going to look
I'm
into
like-
this theory a little.
I'm like, this bag of Doritos has balls.
Murray had 19 assists, only 2 turnovers the last 2 games. Malone shouted that out, said it's been he thinks he really likes how Murray is playing. And then he said that guys, obviously tonight it was a different rotation. He said guys have proven flexible in the rotation, and he's very happy with that. That guys seem to be able to do different lineups on a night-by-night basis and make it work. He was talking about KCP tonight, and he said Charles Klask. I don't think I knew this. Charles Klask was with KCP in Detroit, and he says he never talked. He never said a word. But now that he's here in a veteran role, he says he talks all the time, and he talks with the young guys in particular, walking them through, which is just a cool note to hear about KCP. It's not something I had heard before. And then this was the line of the night or the point of the night. Malone was asked about the trade deadline. He doesn't want it. he more so than I think I've ever heard him kind of went out of the way to say, look, Calvin is fielding calls, but you look at our roster, I like our guys. We don't need changes. So he could have said a lot of different things in that.
Yeah.
And he did say, you never know what offer is going to come through. So, you'll take calls. But he went out of his way to kind of say they like the team that they have and they feel confident kind of rolling with it. So I thought that was great. Jamal Murray joked that he knows people were talking shit about him and said because he wasn't making shots. So then he asked, how would I do tonight? Tonight,
come on.
Did he name
really
us?
Did he really say
Did he
how
just
I
go
do?
a step further and name this show as people talking shit
Well,
about
what's funny, it actually reminds me of how George Karl used to yell at Anthony Carter whenever Melo would mess up. So because he couldn't yell at Melo, so he had to yell. So he actually told Ryan Blackburn, I know you've been talking shit, but I know he was looking right past, I was the Carmelo in this one. I feel like Ryan Blackburn was the Anthony Carter.
That's his guy, so he can do it.
And I don't think we're talking shit. I think we're just breaking down the game.
Classic Jamal, man.
Talking about the game.
He said that last game, they went zone a lot, and he thought tonight he was trying to get guys better organized to be in the right spots to break the zone, and he thought the team was effective at that. He said the challenge of pre-All-Star is not to get too excited. And then with his plans here during the All-Star break, he said he's going to go watch Vogt, his fighter. And then he said he might go to Vegas afterwards, as in he's definitely going. So
We'll see him. All right, circuit
Is there
trip,
another
boys?
in-season tournament?
Circuit trip, boys? Let's go.
a little
for
circuit
fun,
trip.
For fun. Gotcha.
And then tonight was a podium game for Peyton Watson, 30 minutes. He said he's one of those guys that can affect the game without the ball. When he puts everything into defense and rebounding, it wears the other team out. On the pull-up three, he said it was one of those things where the game gave me what it gave me, and I took it. And then he said on the block shot on 8, and that was a great block, by the way. Almost got
we forgot to
posterized.
mention that, man. That was a great play.
And he said I could have been on the other end of a poster, and I was mad because I was actually late on my rotation. But, willing to do it. And then this was my favorite line. On Christian Braun playing well, he said it meant the world to me, or it means the world to me. It makes me happier to see him get back in his groove than it is for me to play well. That's obviously his guy. He said it's been a strained season for CB, just with the ups and downs that he's had, but he's really happy for him and expects it to continue. And then lastly, he said he's not in a rush to get to the All-Star break. He personally is having fun. He said when it gets here, he'll enjoy it, but he's not even thinking about it, which I liked.
Project Dynasty guys got to have each other's backs. I mean, that's one of the rules of being in Project Dynasty.
It's true.
You need to have each other's backs. So
This was a great night for Project Dynasty, man. I mean, I know I'm sure you guys have talked about it, but Peyton Watson and Christian Braun, and then you add Aaron Gordon. I love those lineups. I mean, this was another night to me where I just feel like the playoff Nuggets, the regular season Nuggets have some holes. They have some gaps, but the playoff Nuggets just look poised to have a great 8-man rotation, and it looked great in the second. I mean, that second half haymaker was crazy.
Absolutely, yeah. Any other observations, notes from the arena?
No.
Gotcha.
Were you at the arena? It's not just like a photo behind you, right?
You don't see that?
So I guess that's
Look at
moving.
this. Here, come over here. Get over here. Get in here. Look what we got. Our own Project Dynasty over here.
Oh, get him off.
Social media guy Nick. By the way, social media guy Nick today wore sweatpants to Ball Arena. I'm pretty sure that's a.
Well, you're wearing
Fine
a
'em.
T-shirt.
Fine 'em.
I've got a sweater on.
Sorry. I did not see the sleeves. A sweater. That's a nice sweater. You look great.
You look great, Adam.
Give us the back view.
Yeah, can you go full spin? Can I get a full spin? Yeah.
You look great.
Oh,
Wow.
Blue steel.
I hope 11-year-old David isn't watching this one.
Davis from DC.
Davis. I hope
Yeah.
11-year-old Davis skips the second half of this
He's like,
show.
that was a weak spin.
All right, thanks, Adam, man. Appreciate it.
Get him safe, dog.
See ya. Something Adam said there that I thought was interesting. Going back to Michael Malone's comments, he said Calvin Booth is fielding calls. Does that mean teams are calling the Nuggets about players?
Dude, I got to think,
And who could they be calling
your
about?
whole job as a front office person is you're just talking.
You just make calls.
You just did you ever see Moneyball?
Oh, yeah, of course.
You're just making calls.
Yeah.
Things are happening, things are not. You're like, hey, what are you guys liking that Bones
Hey, do you want
Highland?
Jokic? Go fuck yourself. All right. Just
Good
checking.
call.
Just checking.
Because we talked about on the pregame show, Mark Stein reported that the Nuggets have called about DeLon Wright, the Wizards point guard who's not getting a lot of minutes right now, who is a popular trade target for Nuggets fans. And I don't know if there's anything there, but Reggie Jackson would have to be in that deal probably with Zeke Naji to get to that $8 million salary for DeLon Wright. I don't think any of us are too energized by that trade. But, who on the Nuggets roster could people be calling about if they are? Or do we think they're probably not?
I think that you're just supposed to make calls around this time.
Yeah, part of your job description as a GM is to make calls.
You have to, and also this is a team that just won the championship, so you're going to try to get some type of piece of that. We're not hearing anything extra, and it was DeLon Wright was the only name that came up. I'm sure that there's more that's out there and it hasn't been public, but you're supposed to do that, and they're professionals. They understand that portion of it as well.
I'm sure that there are calls about like a Julian Strawther.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's calls about
I
like
bet Julian Strawther maybe is the
Hunter
most popular
Tyson.
one.
Yeah, guys that are like not necessarily playing that have value that people are interested in. I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. Trade deadline is on Thursday. Of course, we're having a live trade deadline special show.
We're going live?
Right in these seats. We will be
That's
here.
not like
Nothing.
us.
No greater guarantee that nothing will happen for the Nuggets.
We'll be live when the trade deadline happens to give you all our instant reactions to every trade across the league that is made. Let's go to Super Chats, Kale. Bunch of Super Chats rolled in. Thank you guys for hanging out with
The
us and
Ulta
Super
homies.
Chatting like always.
The mega homies.
Eno, huge game for hashtag Project Dynasty.
Oh, look at this.
CB is back to form.
Let's
I think
go.
there's something to that. P-Watt cooking on both ends. Is anyone else keen for playoff P-Watt?
I was thinking about that, like playoff P.
Watt?
What?
I like
You know,
that.
Postseason
With
P.
that break,
Yeah.
that cadence. Playoff P. Watt.
Watt, yeah.
I like that. I think we're on to something.
Playoff P, comma, Watt.
Yeah. the comma.
Dash Watt. Dash Watt.
Dash.
Dash is hard.
Dash
to-
Watt.
Yeah.
All right, we'll
All
workshop.
right,
We'll workshop.
yeah,
We got time.
What else do we got? Joe Arrow, 27. Nuggets testing how late they can turn it on.
Yeah, man.
Totally. I mean, the first half was regular season mode. The second half of this game was playoff mode.
The Nuggets showed up to this season, got the syllabus, and then they're like, all right, when do I have to actually... Okay, so the exam is on...
Wait, the finals worth 90% of the grade?
Finals are actually worth 100% of the grade.
I'm not doing any homework.
Yeah. But I always say this. Nobody knows how to pace themselves and manage themselves through a regular season better than Nikola Jokic.
So true.
These last two games have been such a good example of that. And he can turn it on when he needs to and win a game.
Liz, LA, I dare my daughter and my ex bet $100 if the Nuggets don't win this, we won't win the NBA. They didn't dare to bet. I knew they would win. Drop Mike.
Let's go, dude.
I did not follow that. I've got to be honest.
She's saying that she bet them. She was saying, like, you don't think the Nuggets are going to win, then bet. And they were scared because they know the Nuggets are going to win.
Than's for translating, bro.
Dude, I
Liz
speak
knows
Super
what's
Chat.
up.
Yeah.
Liz
I
knows.
speak Super Chat.
Lizzo.
Matthew
right.
Crane. Denver Nuggets and CSU basketball are the only two things keeping me alive this time of year. All the Nuggets are going to repeat.
Let's go.
of the
Let's go,
Nuggets.
Isaiah Stevens.
Go.
That was Dominique Clifford. Dominique Clifford.
Neek Clifford.
Neek
That's our
Clifford.
guy.
The CU defector.
That's our guy.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
CJ Jones. Might just be recency bias, but it feels like a wide open PWAT 3 feels more likely to go in than an MPJ 3. Kind of is true right now, man. I am buying all the PWAT stock.
The last couple games.
It's not true, but I see where you're coming from.
Thank you for
It
saying
feels that way. No, it's not true at all. MPJ, the MPJ had a bad game, guys. It's okay though. It's
Yeah.
okay. MPJ, good player, bad game, but there's no PWAT stock left. Are you kidding?
Yeah, there's none left to buy, bro.
It's
like-
at a ridiculously high price.
First of all, Calvin Booth bought it all. You can't
Yeah,
have
dude.
it.
Like, you think you can just swoop in and get some
How
PWAT
is
stock?
Calvin Booth so right?
Dude, that guy
Is Peyton Watson better than Bruce Brown?
that guy traded to get a pick to trade Watson before other people could draft Watson when he got good. That's
how is he
calling your
right?
shot right there.
Another thing about PWAT 3s, man, I don't know. I think part of the reason I feel pretty confident in them is because his form,
Totally, man.
looks
Very
great.
taut. Very taut.
Yeah. like compared to Christian Braun shooting threes, whose
Very
form
loose.
I think it just isn't as smooth.
Very loose.
Yeah.
Sean Croissant was waiting for MPJ to join the wave crowd since he wasn't doing anything else on the court tonight. Hashtag all the Nuggets are good minus MPJ.
We can't come on. We can't sign off on that. Listen,
But that was a good one.
that was
That
a
was
good one.
clever. That was clever.
You did pay for that. Okay, we'll allow it.
I've
Joe
seen,
Hicks.
I've seen a lot of haters about the wave at Nuggets games.
Yeah,
My
it
first
is a
kid
little
was
rough.
born a couple of days ago.
Congrats.
And this is her first Nuggets game to watch with me. Congrats, man. She will be old
Congrats,
enough to
man.
wear her DNVR onesie for the playoffs this year.
Let's
And
go.
watch us go back to back. Her name is Emmy.
Emmy!
Shout out Emmy.
Want to
Let's
know
go.
in the Emmy era.
Dude, the
Wanna
Emmy
know
era
the
is
Emmy
upon
era.
us, and it's like nothing I ever imagined.
Emmy, you are the youngest friend of the show. What else do you have?
Yeah. And
Lance
maybe
Wilson.
the only friend.
Watson on pace to be the second best draft pick in Nuggets history?
Calm down. All right? Calm down.
I like the energy, though.
Should trade his number to 15.
I think I know where this one's going to go. This is from Thor Johannesson. I got to guess that this is about MPJ. Let's find out. From Thor, the MPJ experiment needs to stop ASAP. Experiment? They just won a
Yeah, what-
title.
what
Before it's going to
experiment?
cost the Nuggets a repeat. So many delusional Nuggets fans about him and the DNVR pod space cast.
The cast of the pod.
Podcast. Hey, man,
Well, all right.
you pay it, I'll say it, Thor.
Well, hold on. Okay, so let's talk about this. Are we delusional about NBA championship or champion MPJ, who has shown himself to be one of the best shooters in the world, who's having a little bit of a slump?
We also haven't been high on him. He's not been playing well.
And we've
He
said
hasn't
it.
been shooting the ball well. But it's not an experiment.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
As a
experiment?
starter, they went 16-4. But hey, Thor, you pay it, I'll
Thanks,
say
Thor.
it.
Listen, Thor.
Those are the rules.
We appreciate
Thor.
you. We appreciate
We
you.
appreciate you sticking with us, even though you disagree with everything out of our mouths. Steam Machine, not a real award, but is Piwat the most improved sixth man of the year? I think that this should be an award just to prove how stupid awards are.
Absolutely. he's the front runner.
Yeah, most improved sixth man
He's
of the year.
definitely in the conversation.
Given that he was the ninth man last year, and now that he is the sixth man, I think you're
The
right.
most improved six man.
Teens on Acid from down
Ah!
under. Friend of the
Josh, we
show.
love you, brother.
We love you, Josh. Don't tell wifey, but I'll be seeing you in June, you beautiful bastards.
Oh, coming
Holy
for the second championship. I like it.
No better,
And
no
we
better
will-
omen.
We will not tell your wife, so you're
There's-
welcome.
and there- it
She'll
also-
probably become a little suspicious when she doesn't see you
When
for
you're
a couple
gone.
days straight.
And I would say the fact that it's revealed on this show
Yeah.
means that no one's wife will ever see this.
That's right.
Yeah, this is a total safe space.
You know what?
For husbands and boyfriends.
Shout out to the wives.
You can say whatever you want.
Shout out to the wives
You know how
in
many
the chat, in
girlfriends.
the super
You know how many
chat.
times people
No,
come?
no female is probably going to see it.
You know how
Don't
many
say
ti-
that.
You know how many
Don't
times?
say that. Don't use that word.
I know.
Except Emily White.
But do you know how many times people come here and they're like, "Oh, man, I listen to your show every day," and my girlfriend's like, "Oh, these guys
Yeah,
again."
you start talking, she's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's that
I
fucking voice.
take that back. We have tons of loyal female listeners.
Tons of them.
We are so thankful for all of
Tons
you.
of them.
But most likely, your girlfriend is not watching.
Shout
She
out to
does-
the wives that listen. The
I
wives
know
that put
my
up with
wife
us.
does not listen to any show ever.
Never once.
Never.
My
So,
wife left me because I do this show. All right,
Mine
Emily
almost
White.
did.
Just kidding. Speaking of the ladies, Emily White, super chat. CB playing tonight was about him playing well, but also MPJ playing miserably. He is a professional athlete, but so are ping pong players.
This is where the
Yes.
hate is coming from.
This is where the hate is coming
wondering
from.
That
where-
explains a lot,
No,
actually.
got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right.
Yeah, that was a rough quote. MPJ made a pretty rough quote.
Listen, Emily, you pay it, I'll say it. 55555-ish. Every nugget is good. 8-ball emoji.
Every one of them. And then he said Piwat for sure.
Yeah,
Especially.
with a
Yeah.
bullet.
Christian Huff, Mike had 3 blocks. Don't forget. People don't forget. People don't
No,
Are
forget.
we
forget.
delusional?
It's hard to say. Are we too high, too low?
Mike did have 3 blocks tonight.
He did have 3 turnovers, though, which stunk. Cedric Exquisite, back-to-back Nuggets wins. Love you, Eric.
What?
And then
Nothing better,
he didn't
dude.
actually write this, but Dev, go fuck yourself. I think that was heavily
We read
implied.
between the lines on that one.
Yeah.
Cedric
Uh,
always chimes in with a super chat, just leaving one of us
Cedric,
or 2 or 3 of us out.
Cedric, I gotta say, thanks so much. Man.
Thanks
It means the world to me. Listen, every day I wake up, I put my pants on, sweatpants today, do this show, and you always wonder if anybody cares.
No,
And
they
it just
care.
it means quiet. It means
my
so
bad.
much to me to know.
Eric, Cedric, that made me happy that you put him in there. You're my boy.
And shout out to our guys from DC. They're in the super chat as well. Garth Baer from Davis, DNVR Rocks. We'll be back soon.
Oh,
great
hell
meeting
yeah,
you guys.
Davis.
Thanks for
Can't
coming.
wait,
Davis
dude.
Love
big
meeting you,
time.
man.
Sorry for all the F-bombs. CJ Jones.
I heard
my,
him say an F-bomb today.
my wife is watching with me. Let's go.
Oh, dude, CJ.
If you
You're
have a
lucky.
wife or girlfriend that watches the show,
What-
you are lucky.
Yeah,
If she's
remarry her.
If
Yeah.
she's your girlfriend, wife her up immediately.
Exactly.
And again, to all the wives and girlfriends that watch this show on their own, thank you so much.
I mean, you
We
guys
love
are
Husband up
MVPs.
Brendan
Tier one.
immediately.
Please, I'm so alone.
Yeah, but if your girlfriend watches this show or wife, man,
That's
shout out to you guys.
forever. That's the one.
What a show, fellas. Good stuff.
Is that it?
That's
All
it.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. And girls, 112-103. Nuggets get the win over the Blazers tonight. Great night all around. It's fun hanging with the fellas up here. Thanks to everybody who came out to the DNVR bar tonight. Another great crowd on a Sunday night watching the Nuggets. Thanks to all you guys hanging out in the chat. Leave us a quick like before you get out of here. Leave us a review if you're listening to this as a podcast if you enjoy the show. Thanks for listening. We'll be back.
We got a break, fellas. Thursday. We're not. Well, we'll do
We'll be
shows,
back, but yeah, no Nuggets game until Thursday. That's crazy.
Thursday, man.
That's crazy. Tomorrow at 3:15, we'll be back. Trade deadline show Thursday afternoon.
And again, pay attention this week. Pay
Yes.
attention. There might be some interesting things happening in the world of DNVR as it pertains to something.
As it pertains to a guy we talked about a lot on today's show.
That's right.
Michael Porter Jr. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you guys.
Let's go.
We all silly like the mayor.